Attention, duelists. Phoenix here, and as you may or may not have noticed, I did not do a watch and learn on Monday. I was out of town and did not have something queued up for release or recording before I left, so we're doing this now that I'm back home for Watch and Learn 36. Let's get into it. And of course, we open up on a self-destruct deck. Why do they even put these in the replays? Let's try that again with gusto. That's better. Well, better. We've all seen this before. It's a branded Despia deck. The opponent summons Prank Kid Roxy's, and the opponent chains a Maxi. Prank Kid's player sets one back row and passes. Despia player summons Aliber. They draw Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Aliber is going to be hit by Infinite Imperm. Going off of his hand, the Despia player doesn't have a lot to continue playing with. Move to battle with Aliber swinging over the Roxy's. They set one, which is a called by, and pass. Prank Kid's turn. They summon Kawaki Meiru Sandman. And then using the effect of Adamantipator Researcher, she summons herself, then excavates the top 5, finds an appropriate monster, and summons it. Appropriate monster is Kawaki Meiru Guardian. It's going to sync with the Researcher for Adamantipator Risen Reptite. Reptite will use its effect, excavating the top 5, and summoning Adamantipator Seeker. Seeker will then excavate the top 5, find one appropriate one to summon. Going to summon Kawaki Meiru Supplier. Supplier on summon will add Guardian to hand. Seeker and Reptite are going to sync together for Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Then, by banishing 3 Earth monsters, Block Dragon will be summoned from the hand. Moving into battle, the Sandman swings over Aliber, the Guardian swings direct, Block Dragon goes direct, and Crystal Wing goes direct. Branded Despia player down to 1,000. During the end phase, Kawaki Meiru is still on the field. I assume they revealed a rock monster, but it doesn't show them revealing a rock monster. The branded Despia player is going to use Fright for Patchwork, adding a Polymerization and an Edge Imp chain to their hand. Then they're going to activate Branded Lost, so their fusion cards can't be negated, and activate Branded in Red to add Aliber back to their hand. And then they're going to fuse the two of them together for Masquerade the Blazing Dragon. Branded Lost will add Fallen of Albaz to the hand. Then they activate Polymerization, fusing Masquerade with Fallen of Albaz, and making Mirror Jade. Masquerade will summon itself back for the opponent controlling a monster summoned from the extra deck. Masquerade will slam itself into Crystal Wing. I am going to assume they did not pay attention to the part where Crystal Wing gains stats, but it did. And Crystal Wing going up to 6,000, made the Despia player take 3,000. Let's go next. Oh, similar deck to what we just saw. Only a 14-card extra deck. They summon Prank Kid Roxy's and are going to link it off for Prank Kid's Meow Meow Moo. Roxy's effect will activate with Kawaki Meiru Supplier Chaining. A rock monster they control was sent to the graveyard, so it will special summon itself. Supplier hits the field. Roxy's will banish Doki in order to summon Prank Kid Dropsies. And Meiru Supplier, for being summoned, will add another supplier to the hand. Actually, no, I was not quite right. Roxy's let them draw one, which happened to be Supplier, and special summon Prank Kid Dropsies. And then they added Guardian. Dropsies and Meow Meow are going to link together for Dodo Doodle Doo. Dropsies effect will go off to summon out another Roxy's. Roxy's and the Supplier are going to overlay for Gallant Granite. Granite will use its effect to add a rock monster to the hand, which will be Block Dragon. Block Dragon will summon itself by banishing 3 Earth. Then all 3 monsters are going to link together for an Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess. Only a 2400 one. Block Dragon will let the player add a certain amount of rock monsters to their hand. They will banish a rock monster to summon Gigantes, and then, because they control a rock monster that isn't a Researcher, she'll summon herself. Seeker will do the same using his own effect. Researcher will excavate the top 5. Find the appropriate Koaki Mirror Guardian. Then Seeker will excavate the top 5. Finding an appropriate Prank Kid Roxy's. Researcher and Gigantes are going to sync together for Risen Raptite. Raptite will use its effect to excavate and summon. It finds another Seeker. The previous Seeker and Raptite are going to sync together for Borreload Savage Dragon. The Savage is going to target the Dodo Doodle Doo and attach it to itself, gaining 2 Boral counters. Seeker and the other Koakis are going to make Baron de Fleur for an Omni Negate. Sitting on his board, still with 4 cards in hand, he has a 3-stack Appaloosa for 3 monster negations. He has 2 uses of an Omni Negate, only 1 per turn from Borreload Savage, and he has an Omni Negate and Destruction from Baron de Fleur. Let's see what the opponent does, running a 41 and 15. Set 5 back row and pass. That could be something. With no monsters on the board, Appaloosa has nothing to negate. He starts by using the effect of Baron de Fleur, targeting the opponent's card, which will be activated in response, which is Dimensional Barrier. Dimensional Barrier would prevent players from summoning monsters, also negate the effects of all of that type of monster, so he does have to use Baron de Fleur's negation to stop that. Otherwise, all of his synchros will be useless. The opponent uses Solemn Strike in response to Baron de Fleur. Solemn Strike goes through. Baron de Fleur is negated and destroyed. Dimensional Barrier resolves. Borreload Savage loses its effect, which means it loses the monster equipped to it and its counters. Moving to battle, player attempts to swing with Borreload. Opponent uses Trap Trick, sending away Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine. Setting another one, and then activating it. Special summoning Eldritch, the Golden Lord. Golden Lord becomes the new target. He is run over by Borreload. Appaloosa does go direct for 2400. During main phase 2, the player summons Koaki Mirror Guardian, reveals Supplier to keep on field, passes to the opponent. The opponent will banish the Scarlet Sanguine from their graveyard in order to set Conquistador of the Golden Land. They attempt to use the effect of Eldritch in the Grave, but it will be negated by Appaloosa, but they did send away a card from their field still. They activate Witch's Strike because a card of theirs was negated, and they will destroy all cards the opponent controls and in their hand. They set 1 back row and pass, wiped out everything that the Adamant player had. They draw Koaki Mirror Supplier. In response to it, summon, the opponent uses Dogmatica Punishment and chains Conquistador of the Golden Land. Conquistador will summon itself as a trap monster. Dogmatica will destroy it and send away a Fossil Warrior Skull Knight, but the player will summon back their Block Dragon from the graveyard by banishing 3 Earth monsters. Block Dragon swings over Conquistador, passes back to the Eldritch player. Eldritch player will use Fossil Knight, attempt to use Fossil Knight. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target monster on the field, and destroy it. What are your protections? Rock monsters you control cannot be destroyed except by battle. Block Dragon, protecting itself from Skull Knight. Player sets a Torrential Tribute and summons back an Eldritch the Golden Lord. Rather, adds it to their hand and then summons it. With boosted stats. Eldritch with boosted stats runs over the Block Dragon. Block Dragon in response will add a Researcher, a Koaki Mirror Guardian, and another Seeker to the hand. During the end phase, Conquistador will banish itself to set an Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine. Back to the Adamants, player. They draw a Max C. Start by summoning Mirror Guardian. Special summon Researcher by her own effect, and then Seeker by his own. Researcher will excavate. No hits. Seeker will then do the same. Finds a Researcher. Finds a Rock Band Xenoguitar and Rock Golem. Sorry, Revival Golem. All four are going to link together, making Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker will banish Appaloosa to destroy the back row. Block Dragon will banish 3 Earth monsters to summon itself. Scarlet Sanguine will banish itself to set Hakuero. Access Code will banish itself to attempt to destroy the Eldritch, not paying attention to the Eldritch being immune to destruction until its effect is worn off from being summoned with boosted stats. Passes back to the Eldritch player. Eldritch player sets 1 back row and passes. Not even going for a crash on Block Dragon. Player summons Doki Doki, and the opponent will activate There Can Be Only One. Each player can only control 1 type of monster, and so they can only have 1 rock monster, and Block Dragon was one chosen to stay. Block Dragon will ram itself into Eldritch, add Tackle Crusader, Rock Band Xenoguitar, and that's it to their hand. There are 15 cards in their deck remaining. They banish 3 Earth monsters to summon back the Block Dragon. Duelist B will set 1, use Eldritch's effect to send away that Hakuero. To add Eldritch and summon a zombie. Player chains Max C in response. Max C resolves, as does Eldritch. Eldritch hits the board with boosted stats. Max C allows the player to draw 1. Eldritch runs over the Block Dragon. Block Dragon will add another Block Dragon to the hand. And pass turn to the Rock player. They draw a Called By. They will banish 3 to summon Block Dragon. Set 1, which gets around There Can Be Only One. Sets their Called By and passes. Eldritch player draws Pot of Duality. Attempts to use it, but is going to be hit by an Ash Blossom. Pot of Duality does nothing. Eldritch will swing over Xenoguitar, who is then sent away by There Can Be Only One. Its effect will add back the Researcher to the hand, and return Tackle Crusader to the deck. Block Dragon will turn to attack mode, crash into Eldritch once again, adding no cards this time, and they set Tackle Crusader and pass. This is a long duel. Eldritch will use its effect, sending away There Can Be Only One, and then being hit by Called By. Player will chain Hakuero of the Golden Land, but it will do nothing other than summon a monster. And then Eldritch is banished. Its effects negated until the next turns have passed. Hakuero will bounce off of Tackle Crusader, no damage dealt to either player. And with There Can Be Only One off the field, Eldritch player activates a second There Can Be Only One. Tackle Crusader goes to attack mode, swings into the Hakuero. Its effect will then activate to return There Can Be Only One to the hand. During main phase 2, 3 monsters are banished to summon back Block Dragon. One was Xenoguitar, which will send to the grave the Nibiru. Player summons Researcher, who's going to excavate 5. No hits, but they are going to sync together with Block Dragon for a Synchro 10. Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Cheng Ying with 5,800. Maybe they should have set their other Called By. Player's going to use Eldritch in their hand, discarding it and a Gozen match. Then they're going to send away There Can Be Only One, add Eldritch back to hand, then summon it with boosted stats and protections. Eldritch swings direct 3,500, nothing to oppose it. They set 1 back row, and it passes. 3 are banished to summon Block Dragon, set 2 back row, and pass. That Sekka's Light is no longer useful because they do have a Called By in their grave. Eldritch player sets another back row and passes. They cannot swing over Block Dragon. Three Earth monsters are banished to summon Block Dragon. Player uses Torrential Tribute, not paying attention to the fact that Block Dragon still protects rock monsters from non-battle destruction. Both Block Dragons go to attack mode. Activates a third, there can be only one, which might be the second, and then swings direct. Not even waiting for his opponent to try to do something, uses Called By to get rid of the Eldritch in the grave. If the Eldritch player can't pull out a good trap from their hand, it is over. They completely pass their turn, switches to the Adamancipator player. They move right to battle, swing with Block Dragon. Game. 21 turn duel, back and forth between Eldritch and Adamancipator. That was a wild one. Let's see what happens next. Branded player. They start with a Foolish Burial, sending away Despian Tragedy. Tragedy's effect will add Alibur to hand. Normal summon Alibur. Alibur will add a branded card, which will be Branded Lost. Activate Branded Lost to prevent the negation of their cards. Activate Branded Fusion, sending away Fallen of Albaz and Ad Libitum of Despia, making Lubellion the Searing Dragon. Branded Lost's effect will activate, as will Lubellion. Lubellion pitching the Ejib from their hand for cost, sending back itself and Albaz to make Mirror Jade. Branded Lost will let them add Springhand's Kit. Ejib Chain for being discarded will add Fright for Patchwork. Activate Fright for Patchwork, adding Polymerization and a second Ejib Chain to hand. Activate Polymerization, using Alibur and Ejib Chain, making a Masquerade. Springhand's Kit will use her effect to summon herself, then add a Branded in Red to hand, then sending it back. Mirror Jade will send away an Albion to banish the Springhand's Kit, setting their Forbidden Droplet and Imperm, and during the end phase, Albion will let them set Branded in Red. It's a strong board they've got set up. Let's see what their opponent has. They immediately shotgun the Branded in Red, adding Ad Libitum of Despia to their hand, fusing itself with the Mirror Jade on board, making a second Masquerade. Branded Lost effect will activate to add a card. Ad Libitum's effect will activate, targeting the Mirror Jade and resummoning it. Two Mirror Jades on board. Sorry, two Masquerades on board. One Mirror Jade, and a Fallen with Albaz in hand. Don't pay 1,200 to do anything. They set two back row and activate Pot of Duality. Playing their own burn deck, they take DD Dynamite. They set two more back row, activate Card of Demise. Activate Pot of Desires. Banishing 10. Drawing 2. They summon Absolute King Backjack. Set one more back row. During the end phase, Mirror Jade will banish the Backjack, sending away another Albion, who will set Branded in Red. Card of Demise makes them pitch their entire hand. Passes. Opponent moves all their monsters to attack mode, activates Branded in Red, targeting Alibur. Dual Stay activates DD Dynamite. Then activates Banquet of Millions. It's chain link 3 of this whole thing. Then activates Chain Strike. They can't afford to activate any more cards. Chain Strike in 1600. Banquet of Millions will banish a bunch of cards. DD Dynamite inflicts 3,600. Not enough. Desmond player summons Alibur, who will add Branded Fusion. Moves to battle. Swings with Mirror Jade for game. If it wasn't for that second Masquerade, they may have been able to activate more cards and do more burn damage, but it was not enough. They were outburned. We got a Fish player running a 60-card deck. They activate Fish Sonar, adding Electric Jellyfish to hand. Then activating That Grass Looks Greener. No response from the opponent. Yoshiro of the Aqua will activate to banish itself to add Legendary Ocean to their hand. That's one way to do it. Ice Barrier for being sent. Let them send away Ocean Dragon Lord Karyushin, then add it to hand. They summon Electric Jellyfish, which will send away a Legendary Ocean to summon Karyushin. Karyushin will add Fury of the Karyushin, which they activate to add Torrential Tribute. They set 3 back row, did not activate a Legendary Ocean. That may come back to bite them. Opponent's turn. The opponent activates Pot of Extravagance, banishing 3. Player activates Sea Stealth Attack. Its name is Umi. And activates a Legendary Ocean from the grave. Also, I misspoke. Its name is not Umi. It activates an Umi from the hand or graveyard. Opponent activates Kaiser Coliseum. Jellyfish will use its effect to negate. Jellyfish gets a boost. Opponent activates Toon World, banishing 3 to activate it, along with Shadow Toon. And then quick playing Toon Page Flip, revealing 3 Toon monsters. The opponent randomly picks one, which is special summoned, ignoring its conditions. That will be negated by Ash Blossom. And Sea Stealth Attack will banish the Electric Jellyfish. Spells and traps you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Seems a bit excessive. Ash Blossom resolves. Toon Page Flip does not. Shadow Toon will burn for 2200. And then during the end phase, Electric Jellyfish is re-summoned. Karyushin was its effect adds Sea Stealth 2 to its hand, who they will then activate. Moving to battle, at the start of the battle phase, Sea Stealth 2 will summon a second Electric Jellyfish. The first and Karyushin will then swing, and Sea Stealth 2 will destroy the re-summoned Jellyfish at the end of the battle phase. The opponent completely passes their turn, that Kaiser Coliseum doing them no favors. Player draws Foolish Burial Goods and activates it, sending away an Ice Barrier. Ice Barrier will activate, banishing itself from the graveyard, sending away a Mega Fortress Whale. Mega Fortress Whale. An Ice Barrier will instead return Ice Trade Tremora to the hand. Tremora on summons effect will activate. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, special summon one monster from your hand. If based on one monster, battle was cards in the graveyard, you can banish this card. Special summon one Ice Shade monster from your hand or graveyard except Ice Shade. So they're just summoning it. No effect. Gets a boost from Ocean. Sea Stealth 2 will summon the Mega Fortress Whale. Sea Stealth will banish the Fortress Whale. They swing with all of their monsters for game. Ocean control beats Toons, I guess. Don't really think we're breaking new ground with that one. Toons are not good. Is this person actually playing Cypher Dragons? Oh my god, he is. Well, we're going to see either something or nothing. The opponent sets 2 back row, ending their turn. Player shotguns a Max C, which is hit by Ash Blossom. They didn't have to do that. You were ending your turn. I guess they got rid of their opponent's Max C, or Ash Blossom. Duelist B activates DNA Surgery, declaring Dragon. Duelist A will blast off their other Max C. DNA Surgery resolved, declared in Dragon. They set 1 back row, summoning Cypher Estranger. Or Etranger? The opponent will use their own Max C. On Cypher Etranger summon, Cypher Biplane's effect will activate. Because the Cypher monster was no more special summoned, they can special summon this card from their hand. The Max C will resolve, as will Biplane. They draw 1 off of Max C. Biplane with both their levels 8, and then they will Xyz summon Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon. Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon will then Xyz further. Cypher Blade Dragon. Blade Dragon will detach a unit to destroy the set card of Destruction Sword. Memories. Swing Direct, and pass. They gave their opponent a lot of cards with that Max C. Opponent activates Twin Twisters, pitching a Despian Tragedy. They will activate their card, which was Xyz Reborn. Fourth Maxi of the game will go off in response. Xyz Reborn will summon back the Cypher Dragon and attach itself. Twin Twisters has no targets. Player summons Fallen of Albaz, pitching Ad Libitum. Albaz fuses with the Cypher Blade Dragon for Mirror Jade. Cypher Tranger's effect will activate. Mirror Jade chaining to do a banish. Going further, they'll activate Branded in Red. Branded in Red adds Fallen of Albaz to the hand. Mirror Jade will banish the Cypher Dragon. A Tranger will let them add Cypher Bit to hand. Tragedy for being sent to the graveyard. Tragedy in the graveyard will banish itself to set Branded in Red. Mirror Jade swings direct for 3,000. Albion will add Branded Fusion to the hand during the end phase. And passage to the Cypher player, who is on the back foot hard. They set Cypher Bit and set Astraltopia. Opponent uses Branded in Red to add Ad Libitum to the hand, fusing itself with the Fallen of Albaz to make Lubellion. Ad Libitum will use its effect to summon a card. Lubellion will discard a card to fuse. Lubellion will fuse itself with Albaz, making Albion. Ad Libitum will summon back Despian Tragedy. Branded player finally does their draw phase. Mirror Jade will banish the Lubellion to banish the Astraltopia, opening up the opponent to direct attacks from Mirror Jade and Albion for game. Big respect for trying to pull off Cypher, but it was never going to work, no matter who you played against. Cypher's not good. Somehow worse than Galaxy. Alright, we got Sword Soul Tenyi. Uses Ashuna's effect to summon itself for having no effect monsters, then links that off for Monk of the Tenyi. Tenyi Spirit Vashuda will summon itself for having no effect monsters. Ashuna will banish itself from the graveyard to summon an Adhara from the deck. Adhara and Vashuda will sync together to make Chishao. Chishao will add Sword Soul of Taya to hand. Summon Taya as their normal summon. Banish the Vashuda from the graveyard to summon a token. Sync together with said token for Bashia Brightness of the Yangzing. Taya, being sent to graveyard, will send Moye to graveyard. Bashia will destroy the Tenyi Monk to summon back the Moye. Moye will summon a token after revealing Shatana. Adhara will banish itself to put the Vashuda from banish back to hand. Moye and Sword Soul Token will sync together to make Draco Berserker. Moye, from being sent, will let them draw one, which is called by. They set and pass. The opponent sets one back row and then activates MST to pop the called by. Activates Successor Soul, tributing their set Decoy Dragon. In order to activate the effect, a special money level 1, level 7 or higher normal monster from hand or deck. Also sending Draco Berserker to the graveyard. Sword Soul player activates a Max C. Max C resolves. Draco Berserker is sent to graveyard. Blue Eyes White Dragon is summoned. Moving into battle, Blue Eyes swings over the Chishao and passes turn. Blue Eyes player has done damage and cleared away threats. Let's see if they can keep the momentum. Bashia will use its effect, targeting itself. Blue Eyes player activates True Light. True Light will let them set a Chaos Form ritual spell. Bashia will destroy itself to summon back the Moye. Moye reveals Shatana, summons a token. Will banish Vashuda to bounce the True Light. Normal summon Shatana. Moye and the token are going to sync together to make a second Bashia, Brightness of the Yangzing. Bashia will target the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Moye's effect will activate to draw a card. Moye draws Vessel for the Dragon Cycle. Blue Eyes is bounced back into the deck. Vessel is activated, sending away Ashuna. Then Shatana will be sent away to make Monk of the Tenyi. Ashuna will banish itself from the graveyard to summon an Adhara from the deck. Adhara and Monk of the Tenyi are going to link together to make Shaman of the Tenyi. Shaman will discard of Ashuna to summon back Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. Shaman swings direct, as does Basha, and Berserker. Blue Eyes players down to 1,100. Let's see if they can pull off anything. Draw for turn, set one back row, reveal the Lord of D, sending a Blue Eyes White Dragon away. Draco Berserker will chain its effect in response. It will banish the Dictator of D. Blue Eyes player activates Chaos Form. Duelist B activates Maxi in response. But Chaos Form is going to resolve. Banishing the Blue Eyes from the graveyard. They make Blackluster Soldier Super Soldier. Interesting. Not what I expected. Player draws one from Maxi. Super Soldier swings over the Shaman. Inflicts 1,600 effect damage on top of the 1,400 battle damage on top of the 1,600. He did 3,000 damage total. Passes turn. Sword Soul player uses Sacred Summit, summoning back the Moye. Duelist A activates True Light. True Light will let them set Bingo Machine go, wild that they expect to live that long. Moye is summoned. They then normal summon a Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, which will sync the two together, making Yazi Evil of the Yangzing. Moye will let them draw a card, which is an Ash Blossom. Yazi will destroy itself and True Light. True Light, for being destroyed, will destroy all face-up monsters that player controls. Yazi also lets them summon a Long Wand from the deck. Moving to battle, Draco Berserker will swing direct, unimpeded. Sword Soul beats Blue Eyes. Not a surprising outcome, but here we are. Now we have a self-destruct deck, which means we're passing this one over and moving on. Got a heavy dragon player here. Some sort of Blue Eyes freak. Their opponent T-sets and passes. They draw Blue Eyes for turn. Activate Future Fusion. And then activate Chaos Form, sending away the Blue Eyes White Dragon. To make Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon from their hand. They summon White Stone of Ancients and banish it to summon the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Darkness Metal will resummon the Blue Eyes. They use this ritual material from the graveyard. Moving to battle. The Chaos Dragon will swing over their opponent's Gradle Eagle, which Gradle Eagle's effect will activate, equipping itself to the Darkness Metal Dragon and taking control of it. Blue Eyes attempts to swing over the Darkness Metal Dragon, but the player will activate Gradle Split. Player to face a monster you control, equipped to this card against 500 attack. During your main phase, you can send this card equipped to a monster by this effect to the graveyard, destroy the monster card it was equipped to. You summon 2 Gradle monsters with different names from your deck, but destroy them during the end phase. Darkness Metal becomes bigger than Blue Eyes. And Blue Eyes is destroyed. Passes turn. Chaos Dragon cannot be targeted by cards or destroyed by the opponent's effect. Or opponent can't target or destroy it, which is the good blanket protections. And they did not use its effect from being made using Blue Eyes White Dragon, which will let it to change the battle positions of any opponent's monsters. If you do, make those monster attack and defense 0. And also let it do piercing damage, so Blue Eyes player did miss out on 3,000 damage as far as I know. Oh god. The Gradle player activate the Kaiju files, tributing the Chaos Dragon for Gamma Seal. They then summon Gradle Cobra, use the effect of Gradle Split to summon 2 more Gradles, which is another Cobra and an Alligator, and all 3 are going to link together. The Decode Talker. What in the goddamn am I looking at? Decode Talker then swings over the Kaiju. Passes to the Blue Eyes player. Future Fusion will now send away materials, revealing Blue Eyes Tyrant, sending away a White Stone of Ancients and a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Player uses Bingo Machine Go, revealing 3 cards, 2 Alt Dragons, and 1 Chaos Max. The White Stone of Ancients in their graveyard will activate, banishing itself to summon a Blue Eyes from the grave. Add Blue Eyes to the hand. Blue Eyes in the hand is revealed to summon the Alt Dragon. Alt Dragon uses its effect to destroy the Decode Talker. Cannot attack this turn. They could have just attacked over it and done some damage. Blue Eyes player definitely missing out on damage. Gradle player summons Gradle Cobra, swings it into the Alt Dragon. Its effect will take control of the Alt Dragon. Still the battle phase, they swing direct with it. Passes back to the Blue Eyes player. They draw a White Stone of Ancients. And now Future Fusion will activate to fuse into the Tyrant Dragon. Tyrant Dragon will swing over the Alt Dragon. They set a White Stone of Ancients and pass. Duel Speed draws. Activates Kyoto Waterfront and Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, attributing all monsters on the field, and each player gets a Kaiju. Blue Eyes player gets a Radian. Gradle player gets Jizukiru. Jizukiru being the biggest, swings over Radian. They then use Kyoto Waterfront to add the Sticky String Kaiju to their hand. White Stone of Ancients will activate to summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's now the Blue Eyes player turn. They draw a Bingo Machine Go and activate it. Reveal Chaos Max, and Alt Dragon, adding the Alt Dragon. Reveal the Blue Eyes in hand to summon the Alt Dragon. Alt Dragon attempts to use its effect to destroy Jizukiru, but it responds by removing the 3 Kaiju counters from the field. When effect is activated that targets 1 card, no others, you can remove 3 counters from anywhere to negate the effect, and if you do, destroy 1 card on the field. So Alt Dragon is going to be negated. And the Alt Dragon... No, the Blue Eyes Dragon will be destroyed. White Stone of Ancients will banish itself from the graveyard to summon back another Alt Dragon, which does target, so Jizukiru will activate its effect again. And the card destroys on the field is the Alt Dragon. Gradle is absolutely shutting down this Blue Eyes player. They will banish, passing turn. Gradle player will banish the Kaiju Slumber to add a Godarla to their hand. And moving to battle, Jizukiru will swing direct. Blue Eyes player's down to 300. They set 1 back row and pass. Blue Eyes player's turn. They draw Raigeki. Activate it. Wiping out the board. They know their opponent has 2 Kaijus in hand, so they can't summon them freely without tributing. And all they have is a Blue Eyes, so they pass. Player uses Kyoto Waterfront to add Super Anti-Kaiju War Machine, Mecha Dogoran. They set 1 more back row and pass. Blue Eyes player draws Return of the Dragon Lords, activates it. Summons back the Blue Eyes Alt Dragon. Throwing into battle, they swing. Their opponent will activate Gradle Parasite, summoning Gradle Eagle. Eagle, for being destroyed, will take control of the Blue Eyes Alt Dragon. Passing turn, Blue Eyes player has completely open board, and the opponent has stolen their Alt Dragon. Alt Dragon will swing direct, and Blue Eyes loses to themselves. Right in the pepperoni. He's out of there. Let's go next. Opponent has an interesting opener. Link Apple, Danger Mothman, Raigeki, Twin Twister, and Salamangreat Circle. Let's see what they're doing. They activate the circle. No response from the opponent, and add Gazelle. Summon Gazelle. Gazelle will send away a Spinny. Spinny will summon itself. Spinny is then used as material to make Phalanx. Phalanx and Gazelle are going to be used as material for Splash Mage. Splash Mage will summon back the Gazelle. Gazelle and Splash Mage will link together for Transcode Talker. Transcode will summon back the Splash Mage. Link Apple will then activate itself. Reveal this card in the hand, then banish one random face down card from their banish face up one random face down card from your extra deck, then special summon this card. If the banished card was a link monster, and all the monsters they had in their extra deck are links, so that, no, they have one non-link. So, 1 in 15 chance of missing that, but they got it. Otherwise, discard this card, and if you do, draw 1. So Link Apple banished their Underworld Goddess and summoned itself. It then links together with the Splash Mage, making Decode Talker Heat Soul. Heat Soul pay 1,000 to draw a card, which is another Link Apple. They set Twin Twister and pass. Transcode Talker with its arrows pointing. What protections do you offer? Once card is co-linked, it ends code must gain 500 tech, and your opponent cannot target them with card effects. Decode Talker Heat Soul also gains 500 attack for each monster it points to, so it's getting 1,000 right now. Every turn, they can quick effect pay 1,000 to draw 1 card, and if the life points are 2,000 or less, they can apply an additional effect. The opponent activates Melody of Awakening. Discarding Sage with Eyes of Blue, Heat Soul will use its effect to draw. Draw Gachiri at Ignister. Melody of Awakening will add an Alt Dragon to hand, along with a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Blue Eyes is revealed to summon the Alt Dragon. Sage with Eyes of Blue will then use its effect. Why on earth would he do that? You can discard the card trick when effect monster control sent to the graveyard if you do special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. Why did he not use Alt Dragon's effect first? So that way they could have destroyed a card. Only works on monsters, and they can't target monsters right now. Never mind. Still seems weird to do that swap. So we've got rid of his Alt Dragon for an actual Blue Eyes, and then summon Keeper of Dragon Magic. The Keeper of Dragon Magic will use its effect, revealing a Blue Eyes Twin Burst. Reveal the Blue Eyes Twin Burst, special summon one of the fusion materials mentioned on that monster from a graveyard in face down defense position. And Alt Dragons. If its name is Blue Eyes White Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard, so it is viable material for Neo Blue Eyes. Moving to battle, Blue Eyes swings over the Transcode Talker and passes. Duelist A draws Dark Hole. They don't really need it, though, because they still have their Raigeki. Heat Soul then draw a card, paying 1,000, gets Code Generator. The two then link together, making Access Code Talker. Code Generator's effect will activate, and Access Code has linked to targeting Heat Soul to gain 3,000 attack points. Code Generator will send away a Dotscaper. Dotscaper will summon itself to the field. Gachiri at Ignister will summon itself to the field by targeting a Cyberus monster, and those two will then link together, making Security Dragon. Unfamiliar, so let's read. Once while this fit card is face up on the field and it's co-linked, you can target one monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. You can only use this effect of Security Dragon once per turn. Gachiri at Ignister will then give protections to Access Code Talker. They use Raigeki, destroying the opponent's board, summon Mothman. Mothman will then link together with the Security Dragon for a second Transcode Talker. Transcode will swing for 2,800, an Access Code for 5,800, and game. Blue Eyes are not having a good go with things today. Alright, we have a Dark Magician now. The opponent sets 2 back row and passes. Dark Magician player draws a circle, activates it. The opponent will activate a Max C in response. No response to the Max C. Everything else will resolve. Circle changes the order on the top of the deck. They summon Magician's Rod, add Magician's Salvation, activate Salvation to set an Eternal Soul. They set a Magician's Navigation, swing with the rod, and pass. opponent also completely passes their turn. They will tribute the Magician's Rod for Dark Magician Girl. She swings direct for 2,000. And pass. Duel Speed sets a monster now, finally. And passes. Magician player turn, they draw another circle. Moving right into battle. Dark Magician Girl swings over an Ash Blossom. High octane action coming out of this one. They pass. Their opponent will reveal Dictator of D, sending away a Blue Eyes. Max C chained in response to the Dictator of D. Dictator is summoned. They get to draw one. They discard a Jet Dragon to summon Jet Dragon. Jet Dragon will attempt to swing over Magician Girl. Magician's Navigation is activated in response, and that is going to be negated by a Solemn Judgment. Player activates Eternal Soul, summons Dark Magician. The Dark Magical Circle will activate to banish the Jet Dragon. Magician's Rod will activate its effect, tributing the Dark Magician to summon it, add itself back to hand. Circle banishes the Jet Dragon. Super unfortunate for the Blue Eyes. Magician player draws Effect Veiler, uses Eternal Soul to summon back their Dark Magician. The opponent will shoot off a Max C. A Soul Servant is chained to that. Soul Servant sets Palladium Oracle Mahad on top of the deck. They summon Dark Magician. Circle will attempt to banish the back row, which is just an Imperm. Magician's Navigation is banished from the graveyard. Let me see why he did that. By banishing it, they negate the effect of the Imperm, which is just showing off now. Imperm is negated. Circle will banish it regardless. Soul Servant will banish itself from the graveyard to draw 2 cards. One was Palladium Oracle Mahad, who will summon himself for being drawn. Moving into battle, Magician Girl swings over the Dictator, and Dark Magician swings direct. An absolute stomping of a Blue Eyes deck by a Dark Magician deck. You know, I think we can only watch Blue Eyes players take so much abuse in one day. So that's going to be the end of this video. If you caught the stream, thanks for watching. If you catch the replay, thanks for that too. Goodbye.